So you found a little bit of extra scratch lying around, did you? Maybe you got that big promotion at work, or maybe life is just treating you good and things are going your way right now. Well, you've decided you're going to go ahead and take that scratch and buy yourself another toy. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the big three though. We're going to go over cars, motorcycles, and one of my favorite subjects, boats. I can already see the snowmobile guys and the ATV guys about to light the comment section up below. Sure, those things are fun to hoot around on as well, but today we're just going to stick with the big three. We'll have to catch you guys in the next video, but let's go ahead and get into this one. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button to keep up with all the great content we got going on here. Once you get into the video, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Every week, we give away a $25 gift card to our favorite comment. All the requirement is you just have to be a subscriber as well. Last week's winner, Roy Brinkley, well, he hasn't gotten back to us yet, and if he doesn't get back within a week of this video posting, we're going to go ahead and give away 2 gift cards in this video. So be sure to light up that comment section with some fun-loving comments, guys. And the first one on our list is going to be cars. That's right, we're going to talk about the pros of getting into the car game. A lot of people look at these as toys to begin with, but you know what? It's always nice when you're going out and buying a second car just as a pleasure driving vehicle. One of the biggest advantages cars have over the other two categories, well, they can be relatively cheap to get into. For just a few grand, usually you can find a decent used sports car. They're really easy to resell and they're readily available. Another advantage cars have over the other two subjects, well, they're not really weather dependent. That's right, it can be 10 degrees outside, ice on the roads, it doesn't really matter. You can still get out there with your 4 wheels of safety. They're pretty easy to learn how to drive. Just at the young age of even 15 or maybe 16 years old here in the United States, you can go out and get your driver's license and you're well on your way to shopping for that first glorious car you're going to own and getting yourself out on the road. They're pretty family friendly, that's right. You can bring everyone along with you and get everyone involved when you're doing this. Also, you pretty much make options for everybody. Anything you can look to think of doing in a car, you pretty much can find a car that will do it for you. And then, of course, there are some cons to cars versus the other two subjects we'll talk about today. One of the first and largest ones, I find cars just aren't as fun as the other two options. Motorcycles and boats just offer a lot more enjoyment than a car does, even if you buy a nice sports car. Everyone has one, so you're not really going to stand out from any kind of crowd or anything by having a car. It's just going to be another one of those things they see on the road. In order to get really heavy into cars, you're going to learn really quickly that you need, of course, to own multiple cars. And you're going to have multiple insurance, multiple maintenance schedules, and all of a sudden it gets pretty pricey when you start having to buy all the different tools and lifts and things like that that you need as well. Another con, well, not really a con, but more of a myth. Cars don't really attract the opposite sex like most people think they do. Unless, of course, you're a woman. Well, then it attracts other women as well. But overall, cars are still a lot of fun. There's not a ton of cons to cars, guys. They're just not as exciting as the other two subjects. Now let's dive into motorcycles. There are a lot of pros to getting into motorcycle game. One of the biggest ones is that these things are just dead sexy. Every time I look at a motorcycle, I fall in love. One of the other big pros is these things are cheap to own compared to cars. That's right, for just a few $1,000s, I could buy a nice bike that will blow the doors off a lot of supercars that are a much higher price category out there. A lot of different types of motorcycles out there, and a lot of them can take you to some pretty cool and amazing places, just like this person here. They're really fast, high thrills. They probably have the highest thrill per dollar you can spend, and probably one of the highest adrenaline rushes of any one of these subjects that we're talking about, just by the straight speed that these things can produce. Also, they make motorcycles for just about everybody. Anything you can imagine you want to get into on a motorcycle anymore, they pretty much got a bike for you. Only thing is that they still can get a little pricey when you get into the top end. I was going to say a pro for the motorcycle was the wheelie, but doing a little more research, I found out that all these things basically can do wheelies anymore. Guess we'll still give the motorcycles the stoppies because I don't see a whole lot of cars and jet skis doing stoppies out there. Some of the cons of getting into a motorcycle versus getting into a boat or a car, well, they're a little bit more difficult to learn how to drive than a car. They do take a certain level of hand-eye coordination and intelligence to pull this one off. They are weather dependent, unlike your car as well. You're not going to get out there in the snow and the ice cold freezing weather and enjoy yourself honing it up. They're not very family friendly either. You're not going to pack the whole crew in this thing and just take it anywhere you want to go. A lot of times they can be considered dangerous with good reason. Also, they do require a separate license, which is a little different than your car. And heck, even some of our Europros over there, they actually have restrictions on what kind of motorcycles they can get. There's a myth, once again, not a con. Motorcycles, even though the cycle may attract the women, doesn't mean the women are going to pay attention to you because you're on the cycle. And here we go, moving on to the boats. That's right, there really is a lot of pros to getting a boat over getting a car or a motorcycle. One of the first major pros I've always noticed is these things are extremely family friendly. They usually carry a lot of people, which allows you to get the whole crew out there and get everybody involved. Boats have the unique ability to take us some pretty unique and amazing places that a lot of times we can't even get to by car or motorcycle. Also, they're really going to change your whole family's lifestyle. All of a sudden, everybody's going to be looking forward to the weekend getting out there on the water and enjoying themselves. Typically is going to lead to a little bit more of an active lifestyle, which really isn't a terrible thing in a day and age when everybody really just wants to sit around on the internet, or everybody just wants to sit around playing video games as well. A huge pro as well, Bikinis. That's right. Only one on this list where it's completely acceptable to walk around looking like this all day. Gotta love it. I sure know I do. There's a plethora of boat options anymore. Anything you can possibly think of you want to get into boating, whether you're going to be a fisherman, somebody who's out there enjoying the active lifestyle boating, something you want to overnight on, you absolutely can find whatever you're looking for. Biggest pro I've also got on the boats is my best day ever on a boat absolutely blows away any of my best days ever on my motorcycle or my car. I really enjoy this lifestyle the most. As with all good things, there comes some negatives as well. One of the biggest cons of boats is going to be the actual purchase price of the boat. To get a decent boat, it's going to probably cost you a little bit more than getting a decent motorcycle or a decent car. You're going to have to store this somewhere, maybe at a marina or some kind of dry storage facility. And maintenance is pretty costly on a boat as well, unless you're going to do it yourself. But even doing it yourself, it still costs more to do an oil change and very basic maintenance on a boat than it does typically for your car. One of the problems with a boat is a lot of times they can leave you stranded in some odd spots. That's right, if it breaks down, it's not always going to be the best thing. It is probably the toughest one to actually master the use of. That's right, learning how to drive a boat takes a lot of factors into consideration when you're going to have currents, winds, other boat wakes, various things that are going to affect the way you're doing things. So it really is difficult to just master this art form of boating. It requires water, so if you live in an area where there's not a lot of lakes and waters, then it's probably not going to be a good hobby for you. Also, it is very weather dependent. When it's cold out, most people don't want to be on the boat. If it's very windy out, raining, things like that, all these things are really going to factor in whether you want to get out there. Overall, I think you can absolutely enjoy any one of these three hobbies though. If you're somewhere in the Midwest where maybe you don't have a lot of water around and you got a very temperamental climate where it gets warm and cold a lot, cars may be the way, and I can definitely see and understand how that one would play a huge advantage in those types of areas. If you live in an area where you've got a little bit more mild temperature climate, and a lot of twisty roads, and a lot of fun things to do on a motorcycle, I can absolutely see this being the one as well. Once again, I own a separate car, I own a motorcycle and a boat, and I still see the advantages to all of them, especially in different time frames during the year. But if you live anywhere near a coastal area, or any real large body of water, I do really highly recommend you check out that boating lifestyle. It's one of those things that will absolutely change you and your family's life, especially if you're a family person. I think this is the way to go over the other two categories. Thanks for staying and watching to the end, guys. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. If you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. As some of you may have noticed, we just got back from Exuma in the Bahamas. That's right, that video will be coming out in just a few weeks. I'm going to start going through video footage here in the next couple days and hope to get it pumped out soon. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe, and let's see if you can pull off that $25 gift card this week. Have a good one, guys.